We're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am your bad orange doggo, Candy Corn Canine of Vera Nova, and joining me today is none other than our interim host, Noble.
This is the song that doesn't end. I hope I screwed everyone's morning up with that.
all right. We have Beowulf.
Jackal here, and it's not morning. It's 5 o'clock in the PMs.
Yeah, well, wherever the hell you are right now listening. It could be today, tomorrow, whatever.
Good morning, evening, afternoon. This is not solitary. This is the Raider Rambles.
Trademark. And of course we have Azzy.
What's up? 7 p.m. over here, and yeah.
Oh, groovy, man. All right, yeah, 7 p.m. Super.
How about we jolt ourselves awake with the first story that's a bit, well, let's just say
Of course.
Halloweenish.
Well, speaking of Jolt, though, hey, he's not here right now, unfortunately. But he should be back next week. We'll see. So what do we have here? Faces made of living skin. Robots smile. Okay, so this is actually something that happened about a week ago. Japanese scientists have found a way to attach living skin to robot faces for more realistic smiles and other facial expressions. See how they make it try to seem all cute and like approachable with the whole smile situation? Nah, man, this is what Skynet tried to do with the infiltrators.
The breakthrough came from copying tissue structures in people, according to the team in Tokyo University. So, yeah, this is out of Japan.
Okay.
It's out of Japan. This shouldn't surprise us. Japan does lots of freaky, weird things.
Now that I think about it, Japan is basically turning into Skynet, apparently. At this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Skynet developed. I know that in the Matrix, like their city 01 was actually in the middle of like Saudi Arabia. It was like some desert city. But here we have the prototype may appear more hybrid than human-like, but the researchers say it paves the way for making convincingly realistic moving humanoids with self-healing skin that will not easily rip or tear. Bro, what the fuck? That is totally the T-800. What the crap is going on here? Oh my god. Hey, look at this! What the heck is that? No!
Nightmare fuel. That is nightmare fuel, man.
See, you can. A lot of people say stuff about prosthetics and whatnot, but this is just like next level. The other thing is, this may also help people where they've suffered burns or they've had to have skin removed. Other sort of conditions. This may allow to grafting actual proper replacement human skin.
Yes, I can absolutely see the medical benefits there but like you said, burn victims or something along those lines. Absolutely. But what they're doing now is that they're trying to put like artificial human, skin cells grown onto like metallic modems or whatnot. It's just kind of spooky. Like it really does seem like Skynet.
The artificial skin is made in the lab using living cells. It's not only is it soft like real skin, but can also repair itself if cut, the scientists say. Past attempts to attach it to it proven difficult, though. The team tried using mini hooks as anchors, but those damaged the skin as the robot moved. Yeah, that would. In people, the skin is tethered to underlying structure by ligaments, tiny ropes of flexible collagen. What's that last word?
Collagen and elastin.
Elastin. I haven't come across that one before. To recreate that, the researchers drilled lots of tiny holes into the robot and applied a gel containing collagen and then the layers of artificial skin on top. The gel plugs the holes and tethers the skin to the robot.
What I can see about this robot being used in like a medical field is how it can move in a way that a person could, and if they're growing skin on this robot, then it can adapt to the elasticity of like skin normally would, right? And then they can put that on a person if, let's say, they were in some horrible accident, or if they were burned, or something along those lines. So this is some very interesting medical advancements for sure, but the way that this article is going about it, especially like in the beginning, and what they show like the little spooky eyes on there. I mean, they're making it look kind of creepy, but it does have some medical benefits. I would say. I don't know. What do you think?
I just think nightmare fuel. I'm sorry.
Well, they had the spooky eyes in there. Like those weren't real human eyes. What the hell was that about? Like if they're growing skin, why would they do that?
Because they're not furries who make freaking fancy electronic eyes and stuff.
Can you imagine what would happen if they develop versions of this we can actually grow fur?
Or like if all of a
Oh,
sudden,
God.
next week we have an article that says, skin developed by Japan becomes sentient, and then it just starts talking like, "Kill me!" Ah!
Beowulf, did you want to read this next one?
The whole thing or just a little bit of it?
A paragraph or two, up to you.
Mimicking the human skin ligament structures by using the specially made V-shaped protrusion solid materials, find a way to bind the skin to complex structure. Okay. Natural flexibility of skin and a strong method of adhesion mean the skin can move with the mechanical components of the robots without tearing or peeling away. Okay.
Sorry, that's just nuts.
So they're basically saying is they're going to make a skin that can move with stuff, and I can only wait until furries get their hands on whatever this skin is, because they're going to start gluing the faux fur to the little flesh, and it's going to make fursuits look incredible.
I would hope they could actually grow the fur and not just, like tack it on
That
with.
would be insane. No longer having to worry about, brushing your suit and worrying about, oh, did I pull too much fur out?
Oh, you'd still have to brush it.
Yeah, but when you brush a fursuit now, you have to worry about making sure you don't just start ripping clumps of fur out, because it doesn't grow back.
Yeah, still. It will take many more years of testing for the technology to become an everyday reality, the researchers say. Another important challenge is creating human-like expressions by integrating sophisticated actuators or muscles inside the... Sorry, that's just weirding me out.
Yeah, see, this is really where it gets weird, because it's not like they're just trying to grow human skin to like, help normal humans like alive right now. It's like they're trying to grow this onto a robot and to make the robot look like a person. That's kind of where it gets a little spooky for me. I'm just thinking about like, okay, well, what if in like 20 years, someone's walking around like you don't even know if they're like a robot or not, because they have artificial skin that can be cut and heal itself, or whatever the hell they're saying. I mean, what the bunker? Like,
got another thing here. It's like scales. That anything should really be possible with the right donor.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they could absolutely do it. Yeah, I agree.
It would be actually fascinating, though, to see where this could eventually lead. I mean, hell, imagine just growing organs with this sort of method.
Oh my
See,
god.
that would be the. Isn't that what they were advertising about?
No.
Not only just skin. Oh no.
No, they're only just advertising skin. But what I'm saying is that if they could apply the same method and be able to grow organs, then you wouldn't have to worry about transplants again. You just simply have to turn around, get a tissue sample taken, and then wait however long it takes for that organ to be grown, and you're off.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, technology gets really scary when we get to this phase because everything becomes very interconnected, and that becomes dangerous.
Yeah.
If they ever figure out how to keep people alive in stasis without aging, I mean, could you go, you know what? At the moment, I'm not needed. I don't give a shit about the way things are. It's terrible. Let me go into hibernation for about 2 decades.
At this
Yeah.
At this point, what it's considered like sci-fi, like back then, is now becoming some sort of reality. Now it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's totally true, man. Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's rip the Band-Aid off and go from one side of the what the hell is going on to another, because this is just a baller. That Park Place, Wizards of the Coast, accused of using Hillary Clinton as a model for a new Dungeons and Dragons.
Now, this may or may not be true. However, we were talking about Wizards of the Coast and how they've kind of changed their direction as of late.
D&D is basically a joke at this point. I'm sorry, but that's the only way to put it.
They're totally gone. Yeah, for sure. Like it's downhill from here.
Oh yeah.
So who wants to read this one?
Well, let's see. Wizards of the Coast is accused of using Hillary Clinton as a model for its paladin in the new edition of Dungeons and Dragons. And here we have a wonderful picture of the Wicked Witch of the left.
Avera, just be glad you don't have the version we've got in Australia.
Ex-user Ryan Howard shared a screenshot of the character that does indeed look like Hillary Clinton. Okay. He wrote that this hashtag DND Paladin looks like she might only turn the undead who have information on Whitewater. Oh, gee. Okay, so now it's getting all political here. So what exactly did this image look like?
Well, that's the thing. I don't actually see it.
I don't see an image of what this, like, was it based on her? Was it based on this image of her specifically? So, I mean, let's see what people are saying here. We have, let's see, Helio Wolf wrote, the new Paladin doesn't actually kill anyone. They all just commit suicide under questionable circumstances. Oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to read that one. Oh, good. Please don't murder me. Oh, holy crap. Okay, crap. So what else are people saying?
Let's take a look on Twitter, shall we? Oh, that's not gonna. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Anyways, so. If there's a paladin based on the Clintons, yeah, please don't kill me. Candy Corn Doggo does not expire.
Well,
yeah, okay? I'm fine.
I don't think they understand how a paladin works, because
that was so funny.
I'm pretty sure that the Clintons would be the anti-paladin, not a paladin.
Yeah.
Because paladins typically have to be of good alignment.
I mean, I kind of thought maybe like a rogue would be more along the lines, but they also have some like royalty blood. So how does that kind of equate?
A warlock? Maybe.
Oh, good point. Actually, yeah, you're right. A warlock.
Really good point.
All right. So after a quick Google search, I saw. Sorry, this is just ridiculous. There's no actual pictures of this.
So
I did a quick
is
Google
it
search.
real? Like, is it
It
real or
might
not?
be just a troll.
But why are like news articles talking about this? What's going on here?
Well,
Probably
that
because they
dark
rolled
place.
it back.
No idea. This
real
is probably
quick.
some small place. The accusation comes in the wake of numerous individuals lampooning Wizards of the Coast for its woke art aesthetic that features cartoonish, diversity-inspired creatures and promotion of homosexuality activity. Okay.
I see. So it's basically a troll.
So they
Yeah.
basically just pulled it out of their ass.
You gotta love that shit.
Not surprised.
Oh.
Well, whoever that person was, I guess they succeeded in what they wanted to do because clearly media's talking about him. So whatever, good job.
Oh, personally, this is just beautiful. I wish someone would do this with this version we've got here in Australia. People. Anyway, now let's take a stab at the gamers because, well, why not? They're an easy target.
Oh well, this is me. This is me.
PC Gamer and whatever that means. Steam users have spent. Beowulf, do you want to read this one?
No, because it applies to me. I don't feel I should apply this because basically it's all about people who have games that they've never played.
Ozzy, you want to give it a shot?
Yeah. Hold on, let me zoom it in.
Hang on a sec. How's that?
Yeah, that's good. Once you found a couple of favorite games, the tendency is to lock into them and forsake all others. How many times have you finished Baldur's Gate 3, Fallout New Vegas, or any of the other comfort game classics? Okay. Now look at your Steam library and count up how many games you've never even opened. Excuse me. I've got the entire Stalker collection, Disco. What's that word?
Elysium?
Elysium.
Yeah.
And the Half-Life remake, Black Mesa, all sat there like wet-eyed puppies in a pitch window. I'm sorry, that kind of sounded funny. You might wonder what all these untouched games are worth. Well, based on new research between PC Games and Steam ID Finder, about the same as the gross domestic product of
Nicaragua?
What? Oh my god, this one.
Just a sec, I gotta fix this.
So just a quick look on my Steam. From games that I haven't touched since 2017, I have over 200 games, 80 of which I have no recorded history at all of ever playing.
Oh,
Whoa,
shit.
wait. So do you still get charged for those though?
Well,
Yes.
See, I bought them. These are all games that I have bought one way or another, of which I can thank Humble Bundle for that, because I bought so much stuff on Humble Bundle and just redeemed everything that I bought.
Okay.
Even though I may have only wanted one game out of the bundle. That means, I might have got 12 games when I bought a bundle, and I was like, okay, I'll just redeem them all.
Wow. So where do you think all that money went? I mean, $19 billion. I mean, people obviously who created these games and they have them on this platform.
That's also saying that $19 billion or 1.9 or whatever, however much money it is how much those games are actually worth
at
their retail price. When I can go to Humble Bundle right now. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm literally just saying that because that's where I go if there's a game I want. Pay $15 and get 20 games that are each $10 to $15 themselves.
Okay.
So I'm getting those games at $1 a piece as opposed to $15 a piece.
It should be worthwhile pointing out that 30% of all sales go straight into the coffers of Steam.
Yeah.
Now, that also means that the rest of it goes to the actual developer. Personally, I'm not fussed in the fact that people are buying games and they're not playing them. I buy a lot of shit that I don't toy with or I plan for a future project. And sometimes it never gets touched. But when you have the value of this pointed out, and as what's been said before, this isn't, people may not have spent this. They may have only spent $1 on the game, but it's being based at the $12. It really goes to show just how much money moves around in the economy.
True.
Azzy, you want to keep reading?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I haven't bought it yet, but I know Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is going to motor on my Steam shame pile for a long time. Good long time. RPGs represent the worst return on investment in my personal library. You buy something massive like The Witcher 3 or Dragon Age, life gets in the way, and before you know it, those games have been sitting there unloved for weeks, months, and years. We've crunched the numbers and discovered approximately how much Steam users have spent on unopened, unused games. It's, well, pretty scary. No shit. Out of all registered Steam accounts on the world, only 10%, or about 73 million in Steam ID Finders database are public, based on data from those accounts. We calculate that collectively there's around 1.9 billion, 1.4 billion worth of games that have been purchased that then never played, even in a single time. Times that by 10 to a roughly amount for all the Steam profiles that are not public, and you arrive at 19 billion, more than the gross national product of Niger, Chad, or Mauritius, whatever.
Nicaragua, Niger, Chad, and
Mauritius.
Mauritius? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you were right earlier. I didn't mean 19 billion. I guess it was 1.9 billion. But still, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
The amount, the
No
different
shit.
values they're tossing around is just psychotic, and tossing in the British pound too. It's just there.
So let's. My goodness. Oh, they did talk about 19 billion. Wait, was I wrong?
Well, who knows if they're just forgetting to put a period in there.
No,
They
so
probably did.
if you go back and reread it, when they take the small amount of users that you can actually see what games they have and how much they've played versus the full amount of users, the assumption is there's probably like $19 billion worth of untouched games. Now, the shocker part to this whole thing, and this is where a lot of people are probably misinterpreting it, but these are all digital. These aren't something you physically own. If this was true or close to it, $19 billion literally spent on nothing.
Yeah, you have a 0 instead of a 1 instead of a 0 in your account. I mean, that's literally what it boils down to. And with a couple of keystrokes, your entire library of games could just go away.
Well,
Steam has literally got a cow to milk for money. All they have to do is just to keep up with the advertisement and not get to the point where they piss people off, and they just keep raking it in. Now, the other thing is this does benefit developers a lot, because if they're getting their quote-unquote full price, negative the 30%,
Right.
this means that they can go on to develop even more games, hopefully properly. Power World, for example. Actually,
well,
I'd be curious how many people have purchased Power World and just haven't played it yet. Oh,
probably a lot, but it got pretty popular pretty quick. So I don't know, man.
Azzy, did you want to read the last of this, or should we just move on to the next, banger of a...
Nah, I'll read it. Fuck it. I'm trying to think what I'd buy with 19 billion. Again, they should have put a 1.9 billion, but whatever. Maybe it's enough to buy the Half-Life license from Valve, fund development of my own version of Half-Life 3, and then download it from Steam and never play it. Next time, if you're looking at your library and you're half on whether to finally try one of your unplayed games, just picture that gigantic pile of dollar bills just sitting there doing nothing and going into waste. Maybe it is time that I finally play Time Shift. If you want to make sure your pile of shame gets even bigger, get the best free Steam games, or maybe go right for the good stuff with the best PC games in the world. You can follow us on Google. Whatever. I'm not gonna read that.
Yeah,
Sounds
look, I still believe that this is a good thing. I mean, I know a lot of people be sitting there and thinking, "Oh, this is going to be absolute." No, it is a good thing. Yes, it's a waste of money, but you're not sending it out to some drug dealer. It's not going to the cigarette companies. It's not going into something else worse.
It's not.
I mean,
It's not going into like those a dating website. None of that shit.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, on someone's bottom pocket that's basically scraping for cash, this would basically be a freaking nightmare. Why are you spending money on literally nothing? But for the majority of it, it is actually a good thing. Beowulf? The silence is deafening.
The sound of silence.
All right, let's top the point and let's just flip things upside down, because let's just say Furry probably needs to grow a pair.
Oh my god.
OnlyFans couple behind furry fetish videos reveal friends have abandoned them. And this is by Lad Bible, so it's some Christian news website. Don't tell them I was a furry until we move in together. Okay. Mouse is in the wrong spot. A man says he was left without any friends after teaming up with his girlfriend to make OnlyFans videos specializing in furry fetish content. I'd like to know what they define as furry fetish content.
I was just about to ask that. Yeah, what does that even mean?
Oh my god.
Considering this is a Christian website, this may literally just be them cuddling. Maybe making out.
Probably.
This really wouldn't surprise me that it's more just random things going on, but also because it's OF. Well, I can imagine there's some spicy content too.
You have a tail? Gasp!
But after getting over the shock, he has now found himself more convinced than ever to give subscribers what they want, saying he doesn't need those people in his life. Jade, and how the hell do you spell that person's name?
Demetrius.
Demetrius, who have been together for 2 years now, specializing in creating adult content for OnlyFans that serves a specific interest: furries. Okay.
Well, okay. Is that what are they talking about here?
But the decision that Demetrius says has cost him dearly outside of his relationship with many other of his mates no longer in contact with him after finding out about the setup. Furries are people who dress up as furry animals in costumes and often cost thousands as they appear cartoonish in nature and humanoid, with most starting on 2 legs with donning a costume which can be anything from a wolf or a dog to a cat or a fox.
All
I
right.
would probably
That's
reword that
basic
last
stuff.
bit because there's also lizards, but whatever.
I mean, they went with the basic 4.
Yeah.
There's also angel dragons, which I don't even know why. Whatever.
Boombox. Sorry, this one's just too golden. I have to bring it up.
My God.
I hope they clean their suits. It's like, I think there's only one, and I would hope so.
Yeah, otherwise
Yeah.
they'll smell pretty damn bad. I'll tell you that.
As with any hobby, there's an element that takes it further, with some enjoying sexualized content while other people wear furry suits. This is where Jade and Demetrius come in, with a couple creating adult content while she dresses up as a furry, something that has been pretty profitable for the duo. Okay, so it's only her. She's the only one dressing up as a furry while it's just him, without the setup. Okay. I live with a furry who's kind of how we met. My roommate is having a furry party at my first apartment a year ago, Demetrius told Truly. And I was not very keen on the whole furry random thing. I didn't want to go out. I was stuck in my room. There was a bunch of furries in my apartment. People that were just odd. I don't think I want to hang out very much. And
What
she's
kind of furry, I wonder?
She kind of forced her way into my room, but with a nice way.
But
I
in a
like to
nice
know
way.
she didn't take no to an answer in the best way. I had a couple of drinks, talked a few hours, and then I think it was the next week we went on our first date. It's kind of like looking at a dog, but I'm getting used to it. I'm awkward moments, sure, but it's like a version of her. It's still Jay, but she's in there.
Okay.
Okay, this is basically just.
It's like a furry bird. It's don't correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of reminds me of the furry version of Twilight a little bit.
Yeah, I really don't care too much about this.
Knowing a few people who did the adult content as furries and bills increasing as they moved in together, Jade floated the idea of doing a furry content online as a way to make money off her investment of having spent $25,000 on her furry costume to date. Yeah, I can see that. Why not make money off of the items that I own? And we kind of slowly got into it, she said. Okay, so that's true with anything. I mean, I personally got a shit ton of stuff I could be make money off, but I've got either restrictions, limitations, or I ain't got time for that shit. In this case, it seems these people do. Criticisms have come Demetrius's way, with some anonymous trolls calling him a dog fucker. I said it, unfortunately.
Oh God.
But he's brushed them off, saying, I'm not attracted to the mask she's wearing. I'm attracted to the woman inside the mask.
Really interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. I'd say that's the quote-unquote normies looking in from outside. Demetrius draws a line at content that might involve drinking from a dog's bowl or using a litter box, saying it's not for him.
Oh my.
Why are they still using the same stupid crap that they did like a year ago? This is ridiculous.
God, I'm sorry. Look, if you're into that litter box stuff, that's not furry. That's something else. That's not.
Yeah, that's like
That's mental illness.
I'm sorry, but prior to all that, look, a theory, whatever. Look, before like this stuff, before that school thing kicked up, there was like toilet shit, but it had its like unique little thing. It wasn't like grand throughout the entire furry thing. This was like a little niche, and now everyone's treating this little niche as like, you know, a big thing. It's like trying to distinguish between the feral side of the fandom and the anthro side of the fandom. You know, it's two distinct parts of the community. It's not yeah, you'll have people that cross in both, but it's not
The people who cross in both is incredibly small.
yeah, but they don't treat themselves as like the ones that purely see them as their like spirit animal or whatever they want to call it. God, it drives me nuts when that comes up, but whatever. The most important thing is when the support comes in from Demetrius and he helps me. He's there for me. He supports me through everything Jade said. Okay, so I'm guessing she's the type of bubbly person that this guy was probably depressed and needed. Best part is she dresses up like a bloody stuffed animal you can cuddle. I'd say to anyone judging us, look at yourself because you see two people that are happy, Demetrius says. Okay. So that's a lot lighthearted than some of the other shit that goes on.
I mean, it still gives me a little bit of ick vibes, but
I seriously want to know what the fetish part is. Please.
well, I mean, I'm sure someone, now that we've shown them this, is going to look up them on OnlyFans. So
No, they probably just think about like, oh, you wear a fursuit, therefore
you are kinky. It's like
exactly, yeah.
You've got a low definition of kinky then, sorry boy. So my mind just goes to that TV show, Preacher, where you got this little kid who turns around and goes off about his mother to the preacher about how he's my father's beating my mother. It's like, you know, it's abuse. Can you solve this? So he walks up, starts beating into the guy. She stops him. Is like, yeah, no, we're into like BDSM. The look on the actor's face was just priceless. He pulled it off so perfectly. If I ever met the guy, I'd really congratulate him on that scene because it was just brilliant. And then he walks away. It's like, I would have said sorry, but wait, did he actually say sorry? I forget. But no.
Oh my goodness.
I love that scene. But no, seriously, I'll have to say it again. What specifically is the fetish part? Are they actually doing quote unquote fetish stuff, or is the fetish part the fursuit?
I'm guessing, given the type of site that it is, I haven't actually looked into what the site actually does a lot of, but I'm guessing it's probably they're like, oh, it's fetish because it's a thing we don't really understand.
Like Star Trek? Sorry, I'm just thinking of Star Trek After Hours.
Yeah, with their tights and shit.
Oh man, that would just be so. I'm thinking of Klingon. Something's wrong with me. Oh man. All right. Okay, who wants to dive into the next furry pile?
Oh boy, what do we have next?
Something as less cringe as what you'd probably be expecting from our other shit.
Well, let's see. Florida Furries Convention forced to add age restriction by DeSantis drag law.
So
Now,
what was how do you pronounce this city's name?
Orlando.
Orlando area news. So that's
Right.
who's bringing us
So
this.
the Megaplex meetup for furries and fans is using an abundance of caution regarding DeSantis' pet anti-drag law. Okay,
That's a mouthful.
it is indeed. So, Orlando-based organizers of an annual con for furries have decided to restrict attendees, those under 18. Okay. Wait, hold on. Have decided to restrict attendees to those 18 and older this year? Okay, so yeah, like I said, under 18, you can't go. That makes sense, right? Fucking perfect.
Yeah.
In response to Governor Ron DeSantis' pet legislation regulating drag performances. So Megaplex Furry Sun Florida Fun posted a statement last week announcing that this year's convention will not be open to kids. Quote, it has been decided that for legal reasons and to protection of our attendees, our venue, and the overall convention, Megaplex 2023 attendees must be 18 years of age or older. You know what? That
Finally.
makes sense. That makes sense to me, guys. I mean, fuck, I don't know, right?
I mean, to be honest,
I agree 100%, man.
I've
I
seen
agree
stuff at
100%.
FurCons that I'm like, they need to make this 18 plus, just because people don't
Exactly.
listen to the rules. They decide not to listen to the rules, not to listen to frickin' guidelines or anything else, and they're just gonna go and do stuff in public during the day when there's little kids at conventions and stuff. And it's like, yeah, all conventions should be 18 plus. I know it's gonna leave people out, but
Yeah, and you know, man, like these events, they're not for kids. You know, there's a lot of drinking. You know, you go to parties and stuff, and you know, we're all adults here. Even though we dress up as animals for fun, yeah, it's kind of goofy and stuff. But at the end of the day, we're all adults, right?
Yeah.
Why in the heck is like some 10-year-old, you know, going to a room party with a bunch of alcohol and stuff? Like that's not okay.
Absolutely.
Nah, it's weird.
I think some furry conventions really need to set themselves up with certain limits and not allow that sort of shit that happened last time with the diaper furs.
Let's see. Organizers continued. This decision has been a difficult one, but Megaplex has not forgotten or abandoned our younger fandom members and is looking into options for events and activities to include all age ranges, and their family members. Furries are fans of anthropomorphized animals. Okay, so now they're getting into the definitions. Yeah, we all know this.
Do you want to skip over that?
Yeah, with icons from Tony the Tiger, you know, yeah, we all know this. Florida governor, who's currently courting the ultra-conservative base in his presidential campaign. I'll get the hell out of here. And he dubbed a new law the Protection of Children, and by its sponsors is intended to harass venues that host drag events by pulling their liquor licenses, and if it's found that minors under 18 are present at any adult live entertainment. Okay. First of all, if there are drag shows going on at FurCons, there should not be minors there at all.
Exactly.
Like, duh. And if they're going to be having alcohol there, again, there should not be minors there or anybody under the age of 21 if you're in the United States. What's the problem here?
Wow, the bottom of this news
Wow, it's
article
almost
really
like-
took a dive off the deep end.
Yeah, what are they? This is crazy.
It's almost like they're trying to protect children. Oh,
Yeah, they're
no,
like,
this is
how dare
troublesome
they
for
not have?
furries.
Yeah, what?
It's almost like they're trying to protect these
They
people.
said
who
if
want-
alcohol is being served, they don't want minors there. Well, how dare they say that? Wait, what?
it's almost
Hold
like
on a
they
second.
it's almost like they want to protect these kinds of people who would like perform like in front of children and shit. And it's
And
Yeah.
a mask, a harness, and leather booty shorts in front of kids.
Oh my god.
Look,
It's
there was
disgusting.
decades. There were decades spent figuring out whether or not kids should be around sex type of stuff, and it was found it's not actually quite healthy for them.
No, well, now it's way more emboldened.
I'm just going to say this, but if sexual activities were good for kids, then pedophiles wouldn't be considered so problematic. I mean, fucking hell.
right.
Ugh.
Well, now they call
Sorry,
themselves maps, and it's
Oh, I know.
politically
And
Yeah,
correct
Yeah,
term.
you seen them trying to normalize that shit? Fucking like, oh, let's call them maps. No.
Yeah.
No, let's call them a pedophile because that's what they should be called. And you know what pronouns they should be called? D E.
yeah, don't get into that.
Dead.
Don't get into that.
Yeah.
The was bad enough.
Was were.
Yeah.
Yeah, nasty
Look,
stuff, man.
I do think furry cons should really start looking at. Well, sounds like currently these laws are restricted to certain states, but fur cons around the world should also look at creating either multi-stage events. So, say I've heard of this before anyway, where during the day you're supposed to act and only certain things are going to happen during daylight hours, and then as soon as the sun goes down, GTFO the kids and bring out the alcohol.
Yeah. Actually, Noble, I've heard something very similar to that. In fact, I've been to conventions that kind of do that as well. Like at a certain time, I think it's like 9 p.m. Okay, they'll close down the dealer's den, and then they'll have it only for like adults or whatever. I've been to a few conventions
The
that have done
problem
that.
comes when the convention chooses not to fully enforce that rule, and then gear and stuff shows up during the day.
What was the radio? What was the name of the organ? The FTC, is it? I remember seeing a video at a furry con where this dude's like, "Look, the FTC isn't going to be too happy about this. Can you guys stop?" And the dude just keeps swearing his head off, on the walkie-talkie. It's like,
Not sure I recall exactly what that was, but sounds familiar. Oh,
yeah. Boy. The whole STD thing with furry cons and like con crud and other stuff, it just goes to show that not a lot of people are exactly well versed in the head of things. It's like that idiot that would turn around, hook up with someone and then jump on a plane and leave. And when they were leaving, the gift that was left behind, they'd open the box and it'd be a coffin. It's like,
I mean,
people are fucked in the head.
I gotta say, man, I've been to like probably over a couple of dozen cons at this point. I've gotten con crud quite a few times. Like, it happens, You're just around people from all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Like you're around people from all over the world. So it happens.
Oh yeah.
Ozzy, how you find this whole thing?
Well, I do agree. Like, keep the kids away from that shit. Like, because a lot of times at furry cons there are like adult shit going on in furry conventions and shit, and so
yeah, right on.
Yeah, so it's like it's common sense. Like, keep the kids out of these cons. You know, wait till they're 18. Until they're 18, then they can do whatever. But before then, no. No,
With
like
my
let your
experience-
kids stay home and draw some furries. You know, if they're interested in the furry fandom, draw some furries, and go talk on Furry Amino as they do nowadays. You know.
Beowulf,
Go to a furry con when you're 18.
have you had any sort of particular nightmares you wish to recount from furcons?
I've been referencing them subtly. Kink gear at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's like, why are you
It,
drinking at 10 a.m.?
No. This has nothing to do with drinking. This has coming into the hotel lobby wearing a harness and latex booty shorts and a pup mask, and that is all they are wearing at 10
Oh
o'clock
my-
in the morning. Or, yeah, I've seen lots of that, and granted,
I've seen a lot.
very large conventions, but if you're not going to enforce rules, why have them? Just lock out the littles, because littles don't need to be seeing your man meat in little tiny
Exactly.
latex shorts.
And if these people honestly have a problem with that, then obviously they're the fucking problem here.
I mean,
Because it's like-
you should understand that, yes, you're having to limit it out, but it is not because you're trying to get something over on them or intentionally kick them out of something. It's to protect them.
Right. Exactly.
I'll regurgitate this thing again that I've said, not in this podcast, but other ones. There's a thing known as social taboos. And in order to be accepted in society, you need to understand what these social taboos are. And one of the
Yeah.
social taboos are walking around with something covering your face and a naked body. Now, this may go fine down at a nudist beach, but in other places, not so much.
Yeah, how about you don't bring that stuff out until 9 o'clock.
Don't hire the rainbow dildo butt monkey for a library event.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
very
god, I
very
still
good.
remember that shit.
That is seared into my skull.
That is like the king. That is like the king of cringe right there. Like, even even the left side of my tooth hurts just for thinking about that shit. Oh my god.
Goodness.
Well, Avera, I know it's a little early, but we should probably wrap up because we unfortunately don't have any more news stories.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a very interesting week, but I think overall we pretty much covered what we needed to cover.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I guess for now we're just gonna go around and say, what do you guys think about everything that happened? Azzy, want to go first?
Now that fucking sorry. Now that that human skin thing over the robots, it's like I said, it was gonna be cringe. But at the same time, it's like it's definitely getting scary. It's like
Technology
at this point,
is a scary thing. I don't like.
well, yeah, and what used to be described as like sci-fi and older movies is now like becoming like a reality. You know, it's crazy. It's really fucking crazy.
Azzy,
What?
there's a thing in Star Trek called the PADD. It's like a little personal tablet, so it's like an iPad.
Yeah.
And that came out in the 70s, if I recall.
Yeah. I think I've heard about that one. But the But the other story, the gaming story, that was pretty ridiculous in my opinion. But the Harley Quinn story, that was also ridiculous. But
Yes.
but the furries, but the only furries, only fans furry story that was coined by the Christian website. I feel like, well, I gotta admit, it's a better love story than fucking Twilight. I mean, come on.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that hold on. That Orlando article. Of course they're like, it's kind of woke the way they're talking about the governor and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree on this one thing. Like, keep the fucking kinks and drags out of the keep it away from kids, man. So that's why it is a good idea to
All right. Well,
keep these
happy
kids
Pride
away
Month.
from the ponds.
All right.
Beowulf.
But
Beowulf.
yeah, that's all I got.
What do you think? You there?
What was that? What?
There you go. What did you think of the stories today?
Robots are getting scary, but I mean the technology's there to help people. Dungeons and Dragons takes another fall. Furries get blamed for everything. Furries make a mess of things.
Very good assessment. Okay.
That is my assessment of the show.
All right. Noble.
Well, the first one with the whole mask thing, Japan probably needs to get a better marketing team. I'm sorry, but that's just Wizards of the Coast. I seriously think that's a troll. I really do, because it's just, it looks like, but no one ever showed photos, and their quick Google search showed no photos of what was supposed to be the Clinton version of D&D. D&D needs to die already, please. The whole Steam fiasco, I'm still in the idea that that's actually more of a positive story, despite people looking at it as a waste of money. You wanted the game, you bought it, good. Onlyfans! It's nice to show something a little lighthearted, although it lacked the information I was sort of hoping for about what those two are actually getting up to. Because if it's just like daily life crap and a bit of groping, it's like, meh. If it's something a little more like bedroom scene stuff, yeah, okay. And then the Florida stuff. Let me put it out here. The definition of woke versus wokeness. Wokeness basically envelops every single thing that could be potential to a subject, whereas woke laser focuses on one particular point of what's causing someone to get upset or they really like. And yeah, let's just say the government sort of setup there is just, unfortunately, it's the way the world is. So how about you, Avira?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, there was quite a lot going on this week. I have to say, at least like one of my big takes is invest in physical media. Okay? When servers go down, when you have these scandals, when something happens with your local, Steam, anything, okay, just make sure you have a physical game so you can actually play it whenever you want, and it's actually there for you, and you don't have to rely on if the power goes out or if a server goes down or whatever. That's pretty important for like hardcore gamers, right? Or just look into that, please.
Pro tip, but shoeboxes make excellent storage.
Right? Yeah, seriously. Save all that. All your cartridges, all your CDs, whatever. Man, do that. When it comes to furcons, the whole age limit thing, that's been a debated issue for a while. It's something that I think is, I mean, it depends on the event. Something like Anthrocon, I think that's too big. That, of course, families want to go there and they can pretty much manage things. But if it's like a small event and there's like, a bunch of crazy people there, it maybe might be a good idea to limit it to like 21 plus. Like if there's going to be a lot of adult activities going on, let's just say.
Like bringing in a muzzle law.
Exactly, stuff like that could be happening at furcons. You never know. Sometimes it gets totally bonkers, man. Whatever. Aside from that, not to be all political or anything, but Trump totally crushed it. Check that out. I'm sure everyone has across the world.
It's
Anyway.
news here.
Yeah, well, history in the making, right?
And with that little one, the Raiders podcast will be available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Player FM, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and whatever decides to crawl out of the sewer next.
All right. Well, hope everyone had a great time watching this as we've been making it, and hope to see you on next time. Bye.
Don't forget to put padding on your
Bye.
brick wall.